finally lead to a price of 115.45.
Okay, coming to the investment risk, which has been classified into macroeconomic, industry specific, and external risk. The main risk is most of the revenue comes from advertisement, and advertising revenue is highly correlated to the GDP growth, which may slow down and that may affect the advertising revenue, as well as the discretionary spending of the customers, which will be affected by inflation. Industry specific, mainly as we know, the newsprint prices, threat of substitutes, mainly the penetration of the digital media, and
you said that the acquisitions that they have done is a weakness. I mean, they have not done it well. You have recommended a buy, let's say, but you think acquisitions have not been done well. So can you justify that point? Because I think it was mentioned as a weakness.
It's not about the acquisitions. I mean, the recent acquisitions have caused some strain on the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement. So it would take some time to reach the break-even point. I mean, it is considered as a weakness, but over the term, it would convert into the strength if they can turn it around well.
That's a very general answer, in the sense that if you have looked at, say, let's take Nigeria, if you have looked at the acquisition valuation, and have you analyzed the acquisition well to say that it's a weakness? See, today it's a problem, and your answer is 3 years down the line it will be fine. Then is it so much of a problem? How do you know it will be fine?
Sir, if you look at, we have gone through the conference call report where they have said, the break-even point which they thought earlier, they were able to achieve that much before the planned time. So,
what have they done to achieve that?
So, Nigeria, they have invested in increasing the circulation. That is the one thing they have done. And
so has the circulation actually improved?
Yes, sir. Yes, circulation has improved, and after that, even the ad rates have increased ad rate growth is around 30%.
Do they give the Nigeria number separately? Is it available for analysts like you and me separately? What is Nigeria's profit?
Sir, it's not available, but in the conference call, they have mentioned it clearly that this has, this has generated 30% growth in ad rates, and about the investment that's been
done. Is it really a weakness? In your SWOT analysis, this has been put up as a weakness. So that's what I'm trying to ask. Is it really a weakness or is it not?
So as of now, the threat is that they are not earning revenues from that particular sector. They have not reached the break-even point. It is assumed that they will be reaching it during the next year. If you consider Nigeria, they add a percentage of ad revenue that they earn is around 30%, but for Jagran it is 50%. So there is a difference between the percentage of revenues, which probably they will be earning during the next year.
The other thing I want to ask you somewhere said that the promoters holding is 62%, and it is not a good sign. Why do you think it's not a good sign?
So promoter, generally the shareholding pattern either too high or too low is regarded as is a negative signal. Suppose if the promoter holding is too less, they are not their future not much depends on the performance of the company.
So
if that is too high, the external shareholders doesn't have much say in the in the investment decisions or the important decisions, key decisions of the company. That's why we say it as a negative signal. Generally shareholding around 30 to 35, and the shareholding holding by the mutual funds and the FIIs is considered as a strong signal.
Okay, what are the growth drivers for this company? 3 reasons why you think they have to sell more newspapers tomorrow than what they are doing today.
Mainly it is from the regional print media. So one thing, ad rates in the regional media are catching up with the English news media. The other one, it is completely isolated from the effect of the digital media. When it comes, effect of digital media is much higher on the English newspaper compared to it on the regional newspaper.
Why you have 40 news channels running, so you don't think that's going to affect this?
Sir,
my question is why do you think the ad rates are going up? Why are advertisers going into those regional spaces where these people are in dominant position?
Because the advertiser, they have now realized that going to regional media, they will be able to better reach the people, especially in these tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
So what is happening in tier 2 and tier 3? Why is everybody wanting to go there? That's
because this is that is a region where the growth drivers for any industry lies. Even if it is the auto, even if it is FMCG, even if it is consumer durables, there is a lot of untapped market, and the per capita income is rising in these
Why is it
areas.
rising? That's the question. Why is it rising?
So especially, I mean, if you look at the welfare programs of the UPA government, because of which the discretionary spending, I mean, disposable income of the rural households has increased significantly. And MNREGA scheme, because I mean, there is a stable source of revenue, and at the same time, it has pushed up the daily wages of the rural people. So this is where the growth of many sectors lies. And as a media, I mean, this offers a right channel to address those.
What is the probability that the same number of people would be reading newspapers 20 years from now?
So, sir, 20
Isn't
years.
this a declining industry year on year, year on year, year on year?
So we see, I mean, English media and the English print industry and the regional print industry separately. So we don't see any change in the next 20 years. That's for sure.
But
But when it comes to the English print industry, it is very visible right now. And at the same time, even the people who doesn't have presence in the print, they can start an online portal like First Post, DNA Analysis, LiveMint. So they can pose significant challenge to the people, I mean companies from the print. But whether if you come to the regional, it is not the case.
The 20-25 years age group who are reading Hindi newspaper in tier 3 cities and villages, they will also read newspaper in the age of 45-50. So the substitution will be there for the 20.
And again, the decline in the leadership of this regional depends upon the, adaptability to the technology. I mean, whether they would be able to access the internet and use the computers or cell phones. It depends upon it. But we don't see any significant change happening. That is in the rural area. People are converting from print to digital space. Even that is the case. There is no substitute for the regional players.
The ROE is what, 30% you said?
Yes, sir.
Huh? So if they're doing an acquisition and still generating a 20% ROE, is there any problem in doing an acquisition? Or because bottom line, how would you value a company doing an acquisition? Because if the overall ROE doesn't get affected, do you think that is a problem if they do an acquisition? Because if they don't do an acquisition, then we analysts would say that they're not doing anything to grow. If they do an acquisition, then obviously when you acquire, you have to pay a higher price.
Right.
So where is the trade-off you think? Should they do an acquisition or should they not do it? So what's your view on that?
Currently, the industry is in a phase of consolidation, and they are trying to reduce the number of players. At acquisition, one qualitative advantage of an acquisition is they are decreasing the number of competitors by acquiring the companies. Secondly, Jagran's strategy has been inorganic growth. So instead of developing a competency which is not their core, like the English media business, they have acquired Midday. So this way, you know.
And again, it's crucial for every print, every company which is in print industry to have significant presence in all the states. And suppose if you look at the Jagran, they are having market share of 40% in UP and 32% in Bihar. So any new player coming and starting new newspaper, so it would eat away the market share of the Jagran. So in this way, I mean, there is a eat up that's taking place in the, the region where Jagran is from, and for it to make up for it, it has to look for the other venues rather than focusing on what is left with it. So that's why it's good, it's a good approach to acquire the companies in the other regions where it doesn't have presence. So just to keep the subscription, on the sustained growth.
The trade-off is between immediate cash flow and future market share.
Continuing on this question, you said that 62% promoter holding is not a big sign. Okay. Then what is?
So we believe that around anything around 30 to 40% is a good sign for any company because
what does SEBI guidelines say?
So we are not aware of the guidelines, but what we feel, if the promoter holding is too less, their prospects are not linked with the future of the company.
And over the substantial gain in 2009 election year to the print industry and company specifically.
So we don't have the figures. It's been continuous trend that during the election time the spending would go up and even the subscription, revenue through the circulation would also increase.
But this year digitalization plays a very important role, right? Where the company is not present in a big way.
In a big way.
So digitalization won't be that much of a treat in those areas where Jagran Prakashan is strong in tier 2, tier 3 cities.
I mean, even the print media differentiate itself from the electronic media or to the, I mean, even the digital media to some extent. I mean, if you have half an hour of time and if you want to know what is happening around, I don't think there is substitute for the newspaper. You can't watch breaking news and stream for 24 hours news channel. I mean, if you have a half an hour time, it is the best place to, I mean, best way to know what is happening.
It's actually
So it differentiates itself from the electronic media. And so it's true that digital media there is not much differentiation, but because the target segment, if you look at if it is in the rural region, so where the migration from this to digital media is not so significant in the next 20 or 30 years, we believe that it is going to be a strong trend.
Not just India, but even if you look globally, the percentage of people referring to digital media is still very less. Even if you look in the developed countries, US, UK, it's around 10, not more than 10% who are referring to digital media.
And even it's true that, I mean,
Thank you, team. Right there only. Will you please take your seats while we wait for the next team to come with the presentation?
Should we start?
Like of the presentation, we have the 5 cars met presenting their views on company. Over to you for the best.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. We are Team Carlsmith. To give a brief introduction of Jagran Prakashan Limited, or rather our understanding of what JPL is all about, the company has presence in 4 segments: print, digital, OOH and activation. Out of this, the 90% of the revenues comes from the print media. The company has presence in 15 states with 9 newspapers in 5 languages. Out of this, one of the newspapers is Dainik Jagran, which is the most read and the most circulated newspaper in India. Talking about the market profile of the company, MCAP is around 2791 crores when we started the valuation. 52 weeks high is 117.50, and the 52-week low is 77.90. The average volume shared on daily basis, traded on daily basis is pretty low because only 40% of the company shares are freely floating. We have given a buy recommendation to this company with target price of 111. We are expecting an upside of 29%. We have used multiple models. We will discuss them in the future course of this PPT. And the minimum expected price over a span of 12 to 18 months is 111 according to us. So what are the drivers which we feel will take it to 111 or above? So there are 3 main reasons. First, the company has very huge presence in Hindi heartland of India. What we mean by it is presence in states like MP, UP and Bihar. These are the states which have not only high population, but of lately, these are the states which have witnessed growth due to political changes in these states, and also because of the increased growth, the consumer spending is increasing in these states. Second thing, the advertisement expenditure by all the major companies is shifting from the English dailies to Hindi dailies. Reason being their increased focus on rural marketing. Third thing, we as a group feel that GDP of 5.5 is the lowest possible Indian market can hit, keeping in mind all the policy changes that are going on. So the GDP has bottomed out, and with increase in GDP, we are expecting increased advertisement expenditure by the companies, and thus JPL being the industry leader in Hindi dailies market, we are expecting a substantial profits for JPL in the future. One of the near-term trigger would be since it's an election year going on or election season going on, so we can expect huge amount of expenditure by all the political parties. So Q3 numbers are yet to come out, so we can see impact of the advertisement by them in the recent time period. So as I mentioned, there are 4 segments. These are some of the affiliates for the print segment of the company. In digital portfolio, Jagran.com is the number 1 in this news site. JagranJosh.com is the number 1 education site. in activation segment, we are pretty much low right now, but this is one area where the company can expand in the future. Out of home, there are 3,000 plus segments there are 3,000 plus assets across India. Okay, so this chart basically depicts the presence of the company, of the print segment of the company across India. So we are present mainly in all the cities except Rajasthan and Gujarat, which can be used in future for expansion purpose. Together, we target approximately 600 million people. Okay, talking about the industry trends. This slide is the most important why we are banking on JPL or we are expecting it to increase. So, one of the common things we found out during our research was that with increase in circulation, with each extra unit of newspaper we sell, actually the profits of a daily company decreases because the cost of printing is more than the 3 or 4 rupee at which it is sold. So once you reach a substantial stage in circulation, the only way you can make profits is through advertisement. And JPL has reached that stage. I'll discuss about the target of the related companies in the next slide. But since we feel that we have reached that stage, now it's time to leverage through our increased focus on the advertisement expenditure. These are the major companies which are increasing their rural penetration and have significant amount of advertisement budget. So we are banking on them to increase the business. So as I mentioned, this chart basically shows the correlation between GDP and the advertisement expenditure, and thus we can expect with the increase in GDP, the business can grow substantially. Comparing the JPL's performance with its competitors, JPL has 600 million as I mentioned. The next possible competitor is DB Group with 430 million people. So we are already ahead in reach by 170 million people. Okay, the company has better ROE than all its competitors in the last 2 to 3 years. But having said that, last year our numbers were better only because there was a tax sheet of 25 crores which we got because of acquisition of Nai Dunia, and they had accumulated losses. So we got tax shield, but this is something which is non-recurring and we cannot expect it to get on year basis. Now one of my colleagues will take you to the financial analyst part.
Good morning. Now I'll back the story with some numbers. As you can see, the net profit margins have dipped in 2012, which is directly because of the slowdown in the GDP. And then 2013 will be a good year. 2013 was a good year, and similarly we predict an increase in the net profit margins. Net profit margins mainly increase because of advertisement